right, so we got every single orc rank explained by your boy More Lore, man. You guys definitely love whenever I react to his videos, so we got more of them, and I hope you guys enjoy this one. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. We're on a road to 10,000 subscribers before the end of the year. Let's get to it. Let's go.
Orcs aren't just an army. They are a walking, screaming disaster of...
That's... Oh, yeah, bro. More Lore, he my... Bro. We're twins, bro. We're twins. We're locked up, yeah. And I'm gonna be honest with you. Yes, that I did have to use my other hand to do this. I know I got sausage fingers. Just ignore me. But yo, like orcs, bro. What do you say? They're disasters and everything.
Orcs aren't just an army. They are a walking, screaming disaster of green muscle and bad ideas. The Imperium has tried to burn them, break them, and wipe them out, but it never matters. They don't fight for power or survival, they fight because it's fun. And no matter how many you kill, there are always more, louder, meaner, and ready to start the next big war.
Oh my goodness,
aren't just warriors, they are biological war machines, designed for destruction by an ancient race long since turned to dust. Created during the war in heaven by the Old Ones, orcs were engineered to fight without end, and despite the passage of millions of years, they've never stopped. They reproduce through spores that are shed from their bodies after they die, meaning that even when wiped out, their numbers constantly replenish.
That's cheating, bro! That is cheating, bro! So, yo, something gotta give, y'all. We gotta call it out for, yo, call it spade for spade, y'all. This is cheating. They cannot do that. Man, I'm a hater. They're not allowed to procreate. I'm a hater, bro. I am a hater, yes. I admit it. I know a lot of times I admit in videos, oh, I'm not a hater, y'all. Y'all know me. I'm not a hater. Come on, bro. Imagine hating on somebody. Bro, I'm that. I'm that, y'all. I'm a hater. Bro, I'm a hater against these bums right here, bro. Imagine looking like that and succeeding. What are we doing? Bro, they got the underbite of doom. Yo, imagine looking like this and winning. Yo, this is pissing me off. Imagine looking so ugly and you're winning. And watch your mouth. I know y'all like, oh, well, you know, but you're doing it. But that's you. Hey, yo, you want to get sent to the block party? They serve food and drinks there. I'll send you there right now. Stop playing with me. Hey, y'all better be quiet right now, bro. Yeah, I got that power to do that. Stop playing with me. I'll send you straight to the block party. Fast. I'll give you a ticket right now. I can always see somebody in the comment trying to be slick, like, at 2 minutes and something. Is he talking about himself? Hey, I see. Hey, stop playing with me.
In places their enemies least expect. This ensures orcs always have the reinforcements they need, with new warriors
straight to the block party. Stop playing with me.
Of how to do their jobs already in their brains. Socially, orcs follow one rule: might makes right. The biggest, strongest orc is the leader, until someone bigger knocks him down. They use their teeth or teeth as currency since they grow back fast, meaning even the economy is based on violence.
Hold up. That gotta be racist. There's no way. Teeth. Hey, yo. Hey, game workshop. That's how y'all playing? Teeth? And you know my people be saying teeth. Hey, you know my people be saying teeth. Hey, game workshop. This is what we doing in 2025? Really? Seriously? This is what we... Okay. I bet. I didn't know that. Hey, thanks for letting me know. Okay.
Every orc craves more Becca.
And his nose was crazy, too. Y'all saw his nose?
More fun, essentially. Most belong to clans like the speed-obsessed Evil Sons or the brutal up-close Goths. Others join looser cults, united by a shared love of speed, flames, or explosions. But no matter their colors or weapons, orcs are all bound by the same thing: the Wa, an instinctive, unstoppable drive to gather, fight, and destroy. They aren't just a species, they are a rolling avalanche of green, and the galaxy's been trying to survive them ever since. Orc society stands on a foundation of violence, instinct, and sheer biological absurdity. But beneath it all, holding the whole mess together, are squigs. These little monsters are more than just battlefield pests. They're living tools, weapons, and livestock that keep orc civilization running. Most squigs are little more than walking mouths with legs, and their most common battlefield role is to charge ahead of the main.
Bro, they look like boogers with teeth. Yo, bro has a bomb strapped. You know, I ain't even, you know what? How about in this video? In this video, we're gonna chill. How about that? In this video, I was, listen, in my mind, I was like, yo, in this video, I'm going off no matter what, point blank, period. But we're gonna chill.
Assault, detonating mines, drawing fire, or simply biting anything in their way. But orcs have a habit of breeding squigs into whatever they need, intentionally or not. Some grow oversized eyes to help their owners aim, others bloat with acid or explosives to be hurled as living ammunition, but for every squig designed to kill, there are dozens more that exist purely to keep orc society running. Oily squigs keep their machines from falling apart, paint squigs smear war paint across their warbands, some function as crude syringes for mad docs, while others grow into hair-like tendrils to give orcs their signature top knots. There are squigs that scream and shriek to make orc music, and of course, edible squigs. There are squigs.
Hey, bro, that sword ain't gonna save you. Hey, that sword ain't gonna save you, bro. And I know his breath kicking like prime Cristiano Ronaldo, y'all. His breath kicking like prime Lionel Messi. Yo, oh my goodness. Yo, he about to pass out just from just from his breath. And that little bitty sword, but yeah, that's legit gonna feel like a little shot to him, bro. Yo, first of all, he is hideous. Respectfully, this thing, this thing right here is hideous, nasty. I'm gonna keep it real for what it is, bro. I don't know if I gotta call the National Guard, the CIA, FBI, whoever it is, bro. But no, I'm gonna just keep it real for what it is. We gotta light this thing up like the 4th of July. We gotta light this thing up, bro. We gotta Swiss cheese this entire thing. Because I feel like, bro, there's no way. Yo, how are we gonna take this thing out? How are we gonna take this thing out, bro? Like, look at it. Like, he got 3 sets of eyes. Like, this is crazy work.
That scream and shriek to make music, and of course.
Ooh, and he been eating too many. Yo, he been drinking too much Kool-Aid, y'all. Listen, my people know whenever you be drinking too much Kool-Aid and you get too much sugar, you start to get them pimples. Cause that's what I do. If I like eat or drink too much sugar, y'all, I start to get pimples on my stuff, y'all. Yeah, for me, that's what happens. Man, look at him. He been eating too much. He been chugging too many of those blue shields from Fortnite. He been eating too many nasty humans, bro. You know, bro, our bodies is disgusting, bro. We eat all types of just processed foods and everything. I know if he ate a human being, ooh wee, bro. Ew. Oh my, bro. But like, he looks nasty too. So like, we can't even he don't even have to write the judge for real. And also, how could he even hear his judge with them little ass ears? Bro, like, how could he even hear? How can he hear us judge with them ears? He barely hearing things. Like, what are we talking about?
Edible squigs, which make up a sizable part of the orc diet.
Boy, look, they about to kiss or something. Like, what are we like?
Some squigs have gone completely feral, turning into untamed beasts. There are squig hawks in the skies, squig sharks lurking in alien oceans, and massive squig hogs and squigosaurs used as mounts by particularly reckless orcs. And towering above all of them are titanic squigoths, lumbering war beasts used as living battering rams.
Hey, respectfully, bro, the orcs has to be the ugliest species in Warhammer. Swear to God, I promise you. They're so ugly, bro. Ooh, man. If you think you're ugly, bro, you are not ugly. You are not. I promise you, you're not. I know, you know, some girls probably called you ugly in like school or whatever, and that probably lingered in your brain for some years, and it took a little bit, you know, and now you're just getting out of that stage, so where you think that you're ugly, bro. You're not ugly, bro. This is ugly. Because last time I checked, bro, God created all of us, and we're not ugly. You know, like we're not. Like these things right here are ugly. In YouTube, I'm not bullying nobody. I'm talking about orcs, a fictional character. These things right here are absolutely, bro, atrocious.
It's easy to think of squigs as just weird alien animals, but they're more than that. Grown from the same spores as the orcs themselves, they are as much a part of the green tide as the warriors they serve. Without squigs, orc society wouldn't just struggle, it would collapse entirely. Just above the squigs on the orc hierarchy sit the snotlings and Gretchen, though calling them above is generous. In a might makes right society, being small and physically weedy means that these two types of greenskins will never be bosses in their own right, but although both are weaker and scrawnier than true orcs, they play a vital role in keeping the green war machine running. Snotlings are the lowest of the low, barely sentient and utterly helpless without larger orcs to bully them into usefulness. Individually, they're little more than pests, but
Oh my goodness. Oh my, bro. Yo, he's not y'all. Yo, bro, he's not even standing up straight.
But in swarms, they have use, tending to the fungus farms that provide orcs with more
Look at him.
food.
He dancing with it. Look, he dancing with it. Look.
They have use, tending to the fungus farms that provide orcs with more food,
He dancing with it.
and intoxicants,
Yo.
or being used as ammunition in particularly cruel games of target practice. They are too dim-witted for battlefield roles beyond cleaning up and carrying off anything valuable while running underfoot and getting squashed, but that doesn't stop particularly unhinged orcs from throwing them at enemies just to see what happens.
Wait. So the orcs, so these, bro, man, I feel bad for them, y'all. Now, bro, man, my heart too big, bro. I feel bad for him. I can't even roast him no more, y'all. We gotta let him go. We gotta let him go, y'all. We can't, bro. If you laughing, bro, stop laughing. Stop laughing, yo. Stop laughing. We can't laugh at these guys no more, bro. They just trying to do their job. Bro, the orcs pick these dudes up if they run out of ammo and use them as ammo. We can't laugh at these dudes no more, y'all. We gotta let them go.
Gretchen or Grots are a different.
Hey, you know what? Hey, yo, yeah, you know what? Hey, for the snots or whatever, yo, I take back everything I said. What LeBron say? Put it on me. Put it on me, bro. I take back everything that I just said. Yo, to the snots, y'all just trying to live. Y'all just trying to, my heart too big, bro. I can't put that. I can't leave that on my conscience. Yo, snots. My bad, bro. Like the infamous, like the greatest of all time, like the GOAT said, put it on me.
Though still weak by orc standards,
My bad.
they're much smarter than their brutish overlords, compensating for their lack of strength with low cunning and survival instincts. They serve as mechanics, assistants, and most commonly, cannon fodder, shoved into battle ahead of the main orc force to absorb bullets, clear mines, or distract the enemy alongside the squig herds. But their smarts mean they're also natural thieves, saboteurs, and even traitors, often scamming bigger orcs out of their loot when they're
He look like SGA. Hey, he look like Shea Gilgeous-Alexander. Yo, he look like oh my goodness.
Some particularly bold grots even dream of freedom, leading revolts like the infamous Grot Revolution, though these rebellions rarely last long before an angry war boss puts them back in their place. Still, for all their grumbling, Gretchen are as much a part of orc society as any knob or war boss. They may be at the bottom of the pile, but without them, the whole ramshackle engine of orc civilization would grind to a halt. And if a few of them get eaten by a squig along the way, well, that's just the way of things. No matter how big the wall gets,
You know how nasty these guys are? They eat their own species, y'all. Nasty word.
How many cobbled together death machines they roll out, at its core, every orc army is a tidal wave of muscle, crude weapons, and unshakable enthusiasm for a good scrap. And that's exactly what the boys are. hulking, axe-swinging, shoot-a-blasting brutes who live for the sheer joy of battle. The orc boy is as close to a standard orc as you can get. On average, they stand about 2 meters or 6 foot 6 inches tall, although, as we said earlier, orcs grow depending on their importance, so that is just an average. These hooligans have tough green skin like all their cousins and are marked by their hunched posture, gigantic muscles, and heavy lower jaws filled with shark teeth and tusks. Orc boys gather in mobs of around 10 to 20 similarly equipped lads, usually led by the biggest and meanest of their number, and charge headfirst at whatever unlucky enemy happens to be in front of them. They might not be the best marksmen, but what they lack in accuracy they make up for with volume. Hence the orc motto, more Daka, and if Daka doesn't do the job, their choppas will. There's no grand strategy at play
Choppas.
here, just an unstoppable instinct to fight, and that's often all the plan they need. But orcs aren't just reckless brawlers. Some of them figure out that extra armor helps you survive longer, leading to the rise of the Ardboys, tougher, better equipped fighters who stomp into battle clad in scavenged metal plates. Then there are the Burnaboys, who embrace a simpler truth. Everything burns. Armed with crude but devastating flamethrowers.
How do you know it's the shadow? How do you know it's shadow? This is my favorite Burn Boy songs.
They torch everything
How
from
do you
enemy
know
infantry
it's
to battlefield
shadow?
fortifications, laughing uncontrollably the whole time. Tank Bustas, on the other hand, have a one-track mind. Whether it's a battle tank or a massive titan, these orcs dedicate their lives to blowing up the biggest, toughest vehicles they can find. Armed with rockets, bombs, and an unhealthy obsession with things that go boom, they charge straight at their armored prey with very little thought of their own safety, let alone anyone else's. And then there are the Storm Boys, the strangest of the lot. Unlike most orcs who love chaotic brawls, Storm Boys take a more disciplined approach, drilling in tight formations and even saluting their bosses. Of course, the discipline is relative since they do strap massive rocket packs to their backs and launch themselves headfirst into battle, often exploding on impact. But boys are the backbone of every WoW, loud, choppy, and too dumb to quit. When the biggest mob brings the loudest guns, that's usually the one still standing, and the boys wouldn't have it any other way. Some boys are so specialized that they deserve their own entry, and the Ludas are certainly the first ones that come to mind. For them, every battlefield is a treasure trove of scrap, weapons, and half-destroyed vehicles just waiting to be claimed. They are the scavengers of orc society, stripping down anything they can get their hands on and welding it back together into something loud, deadly, and completely ramshackle. Ludas are obsessed with firepower, and thanks to their love of borrowing the biggest guns they can find, they are some of the most heavily armed orcs outside of a war boss's retinue. Their signature weapon is the Def Gun, a massive, unwieldy firearm cobbled together from looted enemy technology, spare orc parts, and whatever else they...
And you know what's so crazy about this right here, yo? And I don't mean to like bring in like another game's history into this, but I'm gonna do it. Bro, this is like something that Call of Duty Black Ops would drop for like a multiplayer. Ain't that sad? Ain't that abysmal, bro? Yo, me and my boys, we was like talking about Call of Duty, like, you know, and I'm sorry if I'm talking about Call of Duty now, y'all, but I just gotta get this off. Me and my boys last night, we was talking about Call of Duty right in the Discord. We was playing, I think we was playing Skate. And we was talking about like, you know, random games or just random whatever, right? Bro, let me just say this about Call of Duty, bro. They would legit drop something like this, but here's the thing. You would have to buy the battle pass to use this gun. It is such a shame, bro, that our game fell that far from grace. Our game was so good 10 years ago, bro, and it fell far from grace. And I know I'm talking about Call of Duty in a Warhammer video. I know that's like, you know, a weird kind of mix, you know, just put in. But let me just say this real quick. Call of Duty, if you ever in your life ever see this, let me just say this real quick. Take a year off. Take a year off. Y'all been dropping games every single year for the past, I don't even know how long. Take a year off, bro. Please take a year off. Not only is that going to be better for the games in the future, but that's going to be better for us. Just take a year off, bro. You're not missing out on nothing. Take a year off. Go back to the drawing board. Come up with a new game. With a new Call of Duty game. It ain't always going to be Modern Warfare or Black Ops. Come up with a new game. And then the greed is absolutely sickening, bro. Bro, you don't... First of all the little cracked guns or whatever is a part of the battle pass. So if you didn't buy that battle pass, then you're not using all these meta weapons and meta guns that all of these YouTubers and streamers are using. Because obviously, they can definitely afford the battle pass. I can afford the battle pass too, but I'm talking about regular people. I'm talking about regular kids who don't have money, who don't have jobs. You know why? Because they're kids. Even adults who have, like, you know, who have jobs or whatever. Bro, that money ain't going to y'all. That money going to bills and taking care of their children. They just want to hop on a game just to play, just to, like, you know, relieve some stress or just to have some entertainment. They don't have to, they shouldn't have to put what, 10, 11, $12 or whatever just for a battle. They shouldn't have to do that. They shouldn't have to do that. For everybody else that's trying to, like, defend Call of Duty, oh, well, if they could put $10 towards a case of beer, why can't they do it towards the battle? Man, shouldn't. I just have to say that. I'm trying my best not to, you know, curse too much or whatever. I did tell the Lord that I was going to try to get better with my cursing. Right? But, like, it's sickening, bro. It's wicked. This whole thing is wicked, y'all. Like, man, wicked work. Like, seriously.
I think looks shooty enough.
Sorry if I talk about Call of Duty in a warmer video.
And reliability. But if there's one thing that's guaranteed, it's that they will spit out an absurd amount of DACA when fired. Whether it's a repurposed heavy bolter, an old las cannon barely held together with scrap metal, or something so jury-rigged that even mech boys aren't sure how it works, a Luta's gun is always devastating. The thrill of looting isn't just about getting a bigger gun, it's about the process. Lutas don't just take weapons, they take pride in their work, customizing their arsenal with anything they can steal. If a Luta sees a tank on the battlefield, he doesn't think about blowing it up. He thinks about how he can drag it back to the workshop and bolt its main gun onto his def gun. It doesn't always work, and sometimes the whole thing explodes in his hands, but that's just part of the fun. Their scavenger instincts don't stop at weapons either. Anything not nailed down, and some things that are, will inevitably end up in the Luta's hands.
Bro, so they just be stealing anything and everything, bro. These dudes are thieves. And, bro, my heart is so big, like, bro, y'all gotta understand, bro. Like, I know I troll a lot, whatever, bro, but I'm not a hater, y'all. I'm not a hater. Like, I just can't, like, bro, they stealing. Now, here's the thing. I got remorse. Here's the thing, bro. I got, bro, I have a heart. It's just at the end of the day, bro, I got no remorse for a thief. I got no remorse for a thief. But at the same time, my heart's like, yo, bro, just forgive him. Just let it go. You don't got to talk about this orc. Just let him go. But at the same time, bro, if you a thief, that means you are willingly taking somebody else's property. Or somebody else's things.
Helmets and armor plates to enemy insignias worn as trophies. Even friendly orcs aren't safe. If a Luta thinks another orc's Shuda looks better than his, he'll acquire it in the confusion of battle. And while other orcs might see them as a bit too sneaky for comfort, no warband can deny the raw firepower that Lutas bring to the battlefield. When a mob of Lutas sets up and starts unloading, it's like an orc artillery barrage on legs. Wildly inaccurate, devastatingly powerful, and leaving behind a battlefield littered with new scrap for them to collect. For most orcs, speed is just a means to an end, an easy way to close the distance and get to the fight. But for the maniacs known as speed freaks, going fast is the whole point. These orcs belong to the infamous cult of speed, a loose collection of boys obsessed with velocity, loud engines, and high-octane destruction. To them, Daka and speed go hand in hand, and a proper battle should be more of a high-speed demolition derby than a traditional fight. Speed freaks aren't a separate breed of orc, just boys who've caught the speed bug, and once they do, there's no going back. They live to burn across the battlefield in a blur of smoke, fire, and deafening roars using whatever ramshackle vehicles they can get their hands on. Some become biker boys, tearing through enemy lines on oversized, barely functional war bikes, leaving only a trail of wreckage and bullet casings in their wake.
I'm gonna be honest with you, that's hard. This right here, this is hard. I'll keep it real. All right, now I'm giving props, okay? Y'all see? Like, am I going through your type of, character development? All right, I gave you guys some props, Like, this bike right here, I'm gonna keep it real. This is hard. This is hard, y'all.
Functional war bikes, leaving only a trail of wreckage and bullet casings in their wake. Others mount up in trucks, open-topped death traps packed with boys who unload their shootas at anything that moves, while their driver smashes straight into enemy formations. Then there are the flyboys, whose addiction to speed takes them into the skies. These orcs strap themselves into jets and aircraft cobbled together from scrap, held aloft by crude orc engineering and sheer willpower. Their Daka jets streak through the sky in wild dogfights, while Blitze bombers dive straight into enemy ranks with explosives strapped to their bellies, eager to turn themselves into the loudest, most spectacular explosion possible. Speed freaks fight like they drive, full throttle and out of control. They hit the enemy before they know what's happening, and by the time the smoke clears, they're already gone. In the end, speed kills, and no one's faster than a speed freak. Up until now, we've shown how most orcs are perfectly happy slapping scrap metal together and riding into battle on ramshackle vehicles. But even among the orcs, there are traditionalists. These are the beast snagas, a subculture of orcs who believe the best way—
Bro, we got orcs with fades and mohawks. Wowzers, yo. Yo, just when I thought that like this couldn't get no worse, yo, we got orcs with mohawks and bald fades. Hey, this is what's going on in 2025, really? Look at it. First of all, bro, hey, respectfully, bro, like, homie to homie, cut this off. Cut it off, yo. Yo, let it go. Let it go, bro. Your barber did you. Yo, bro, if I'm you, bro, I'm not leaving that barbershop until I get something out of it, bro. Pause, by the way. Just in case somebody try to, take that and take it out of context. No, bro, no lie, bro. My barber ever did me like this, yo. No lie, bro. He got to call the authorities on me, bro. Seriously, I'm not paying him nothing. And as a matter of fact, bro, you're going to fix my cut at once. Stop playing, bro. I dare my barber. Bro, ooh, man. Ooh, man, bro. Oh, no. Look at this catastrophe, bro. Let this thing go immediately.
To fight isn't with clanking machines, but with raw muscle and the biggest, meanest beasts they can wrangle. They see themselves as tougher, stronger, and more brutal than their more mech-obsessed kin, closer to the old ways of orc warfare when their ancestors fought with nothing but crude weapons, raw aggression, and a proper-sized war beast underneath them. You can always tell a beast snagaboy from other orc boys. A lifetime of challenging themselves by hunting huge, dangerous beasts with nothing but crude weaponry makes the average beast snaga larger and stronger than their cousins. Not proper knobs yet, but definitely closer, and that's just the ones on foot. The Squighog boys charge into battle atop massive four-legged squigs with thick hides, powerful jaws, and enough brute strength to plow through enemy lines. These savage riders favor brutal melee combat, hurling barbed spears or swinging massive choppas as their squigs rip and tear into anything in their path. The Squighogs themselves are little more than barely trained monsters, but under the control of a snaga, they become devastating shock cavalry. But orcs have been riding into battle long before Squighogs became popular. Back on feral orc worlds, where technology is scarce, orcs still ride into battle on the backs of giant war-hardened boars. While Squighogs—
Man, get off them pigs, bro. You know you too heavy for that. Get off them pigs. We all know what you about to do to them after y'all done with the battle. Like, we know. Get off those pigs, bro. Get off. At once. Get off them. Yo, get off those pigs now, bro. Let them pigs, bro. I know, yo. Them pigs be making the most grueling sounds of all time. Yo, when Bro, when those orcs is on those pigs' backs, I'll be feeling, bro, bad for him, bro. Look at him. He looks defeated. Bro, he got stage 6 depression. Look at him, y'all. Look.
Are all raw muscle, boars are faster and more nimble, making boar boys surprisingly quick for an orc cavalry unit. Though they've mostly been replaced by bikes and trucks in mainstream orc warbands, there are still plenty of orcs who swear by the old ways. Orcs aren't exactly known for subtlety. When a warband goes to battle, they charge in head first, guns blazing, yelling loud enough to shake the battlefield. Even Ludas only sneak for as long as it takes to get a good bit of scrap or to set up a firing position for their massive guns. But every once in a while, an orc gets the ridiculous idea that sneaking around might.
We got fashionable orcs now? Now, here's the thing. I'm going to keep it real. I don't mind this at all. As a matter of fact, I can definitely work with this, bro. Yeah, I can definitely work with this. Fashionable orcs? Okay.
Might actually be useful. These are the commandos, orc infiltration specialists, saboteurs, and the closest thing the greenskins have to an elite stealth unit. That doesn't mean they're good at sneaking, mind you. Most commandos still think their massive frames and loud guttural breathing don't count if they slap some mud on their face and wear a pair of stolen goggles. But compared to the average orc who announces his arrival by firing a gun in the air and screaming at the top of his lungs, a commando might as well be a ghost. And that little edge in subtlety makes them wildly effective.
That's cheating. That's literally cheating. Yo, Games Workshop, y'all got to do something, bro. I'm gonna keep it real. Maybe this is like an unpopular, request. I don't care if I even get hated on by saying this. Yo, Games Workshop, you gotta nerf the orcs. Nerf them. This whole thing of if they just manifest themselves as invisible, all of a sudden they're invisible. Yo, cut it out. Cut it out, bro. We're not doing that, bro. We're not doing that no more. Let it go. This is absolutely ridiculous. Just keeping it real. This is absolutely ridiculous. If that's the case, I think Vulcan should have the same power.
Commandos specialize in ambushes, flanking maneuvers, and demolitions. They sneak ahead of the main WA, planting explosives, sabotaging enemy defenses, and striking from the shadows before the enemy even knows they're there. They're also some of the few orcs that actually think before a fight, planning out their strikes in a way that often surprises Imperial tacticians. Some even learn a bit of patience, though that usually just means waiting an extra 10 seconds before kicking in the door and unloading a slugga into the nearest enemy. Their gear is a mix of stolen tech, looted explosives, and whatever crazy gadgets their local mech thought would be funny to strap to them. Some commandos wield oversized silencers that somehow make their guns even louder. Others carry grappling hooks, night vision goggles, or crude choppas wrapped in black rags because they heard that makes them stealthy. A few even use grot spotters, unlucky Gretchen forced to sneak ahead and point out targets assuming they don't get shot first. But no matter how much sneaking they do, a commando is still an orc. The second they decide the time is right, all that stealth training goes out the window, and the battlefield erupts in an explosion of bullets, shrapnel, and very loud yelling. And in the end, that's what makes them truly dangerous. Not that they can be sneaky, but that they choose to be, just long enough to make their enemies nervous. Most orcs don't bother thinking too long enough.
They even got teeth coming out their arm. Come on, bro.
To make their enemies nervous. Most orcs don't bother thinking too hard about how things work. As long as their shooters fire, their choppas are sharp, and their trucks go fast, they are happy. But some orcs get a peculiar itch in their brain, an instinctive knack for doing things that other orcs just can't. These are the odd boys, the eccentric specialists who keep orc society running, whether the rest of the boys realize it or not. Mech boys are the engineers, if you can call them that. They don't study technology so much as remember it, drawing on half-forgotten knowledge that must have been shoved in their heads generations ago, a trait that all odd boys seem to share. With enough scrap, a mech can build anything: guns, vehicles, force fields, even war machines rivaling Imperial Titans. The fact that they barely understand how any of it works does not seem to matter. If enough orcs believe something will function, then somehow it just does. Pain Boys, on the other hand, are the so-called doctors of orc society, and their methods are exactly as horrifying as you would expect. They patch up wounded orcs with whatever parts they have on hand, sometimes even extra parts, just to see what happens. If a boy loses an arm, the Pain Boy might replace it with a bigger, shootier arm, or maybe just another orc's arm that was lying around. Their surgical philosophy is...
They got doctors? They have doctors, yo? Like...
simple. If the patient gets back up and starts fighting again, that's a job well done. If
they got everything.
Well, at least the Pain Boy learned something. Runt herds are the closest thing to managers that orcs have, overseeing the lowest castes of greenskins, snotlings, Gretchen, and squigs. They make sure the little runts stay in line, usually with liberal use of a big stick, a squig prod, or whatever happens to be lying around. Despite being some of the roughest odd boys around, runt herds are marked by their patience and have a strange sort of fondness for their grots, even if that affection is mostly expressed through yelling and casual violence. It's possible that runt herds are part of a hereditary line of orcs, just like mechs and pain boys, who have a specialized role passed down through genetic knowledge, especially since they all seem to have instinctual memory of their race's most important stories. Of course, not every odd boy is essential to war. There are brew boys to keep the fungus beer flowing, ensuring orcs always have something to swig between fights. Sloppers churn out whatever counts as food in orc society, usually some mix of squigs, spores, and whatever they found behind the nearest battlefield. But importantly, sloppers are always trying to top other cooks by making the spiciest, most risky food possible for the lads to enjoy. Neither the brew boys nor the sloppers are as respected as mechs, docs, or runt herds, but they are still odd boys, and in orc society, everyone has a role to play, whether they know it or not. Weird boys aren't just the strangest of the odd boys, they are the most dangerous. Not to the enemy necessarily, but to themselves and every orc standing too close. See, orcs generate a constant psychic field, a raw storm of Wa energy that grows stronger the more of them there are. Most boys don't even notice it, but weird boys feel it, all of it coursing through their thick skulls. The more orcs around, the more power a weird boy absorbs, until it has to go somewhere. When they manage to direct it, they can unleash devastating bursts of energy, green lightning that arcs across the battlefield, heads exploding like overripe squigs, or even the sheer undeniable force of the Wa manifesting as reality-breaking phenomena. When they fail to direct it, well, that's when weird boys go pop instead, and since orcs never do anything small, this often results in a huge crater and most of the orc army evaporating. Because of this, orcs treat their weird boys with a mix of fear and superstition. They're kept at the fringes of the warbands, herded into battle by minders, unlucky orcs whose job is to keep the weird boy from frying their own side before they can fry the enemy. And yet, for all the risks, weird boys are essential. In the largest Was, their power reaches impossible heights, turning them into living conduits of orc belief. They can summon devastating storms, teleport entire mobs across the battlefield, or even in the most extreme...
What are we talking about? Bro, I just feel like... I feel like Games Workshop just started just adding anything. They're legit just they're giving these guys any, bro, orcs, how much did y'all pay Games Workshop, bro? Sorry, I'm saying it. Orcs, how much money did you pay Games Workshop? I just bit my tongue. Ow! I just bit my tongue. Oh! Ow, I just bit my tongue. Orcs, look what you just did. I just bit my tongue. Ow. But listen, though. No, real life, though. Orcs, How much money did y'all pay Games Workshop, bro? Seriously. This is ridiculous. The fact that y'all have these many powers and the fact that y'all can actually do surgery, y'all are smart? We didn't know that. We thought y'all were dum-dums. We thought y'all were meatheads. We thought y'all were cuckoo for buku buffs. We thought you guys were lost in the sauce. Y'all can actually think for yourselves?
Extreme cases bend reality itself to the orcs' collective will. Weird boys are usually understandably afraid of their own power. After all, it makes them an outcast among their own people. You don't see a weird boy having an honest brawl or a fungus beer with the lads. But some weird boys decided to lean into their powers, enjoying the sensation of the Wa energy building inside them, and of the sheer destruction they can rain down on anyone who gets in their way. Okay, we're done with the many flavors of boys, and now we are on to what they're all trying to become: a knob. If the average orc is a walking, yelling, battle-crazed slab of muscle, then a knob is all of that cranked up to 11. These are the biggest, meanest boys in any given mob, the ones who are tougher, fight harder, and have bullied their way to the top, growing physically larger the whole time. A knob isn't just an elite fighter, they are a leader by orc standards, keeping their mobs in line with a mix of brute force and loud threats. But not all knobs are happy to just boss boys around. Some take their status to the next level, arming themselves with the best weapons, the biggest armor, or the most excessive cybernetic upgrades. Take the Flash Gits. These swaggering show-offs modify their weapons until they're
Isn't that a channel? That's a YouTube channel, right?
barely recognizable, carrying the biggest, loudest, most over-engineered shooters they can afford. They don't want to just kill the enemy, they want to look good doing it, with guns that spew more
Oh, he talking about the weapons. Oh, I'm about to say, okay.
DACA than should be physically possible, and wardrobes that put even the wealthiest bad moons to shame. Their obsession with firepower often makes them more mercenary than most orcs, hiring themselves out to any warband that promises the most loot. Then there's the cyborgs, knobs who took one too many hits to the head and figured that replacing their broken bits with scrap metal was a brilliant idea. Some of them have crude bionic limbs, others have entire steel-plated bodies, and a few are more machine than orc. But not all of them choose this path. Cyborgs are often the unlucky volunteers for a Mad Doc's latest experiment, stitched together with whatever spare parts were lying around. The end result is rarely pretty, but a cyborg's willingness to keep fighting long after their body should have given up makes them a terrifying sight on the battlefield. And then there are the mega knobs, knobs who decided that being big wasn't enough, they had to be unstoppable. Regular orcs might enjoy the reckless thrill of battle, but mega knobs prefer to walk through it as an unbreakable wall of steel, encased in towering suits of power armor, which are as strong as Astartes' Terminator plate despite the ramshackle appearance. They wade through enemy fire like it's nothing, crushing anything too slow to get out of their way. If a mega knob gets into melee, it's not a fight, it's a demolition job. No matter what kind of knob they are, one thing is certain. These orcs are bigger, badder, and bossier than the boys they command, and just like any orc in the mobs beneath them, knobs aren't content to stay in their place forever. They've always got their eyes on something bigger, and the second a war boss shows weakness, they are always ready to throw down a challenge for the top spot. At the very top of the orc food chain stands the
Okay. I low-key want to skip this one. Should we just skip this, y'all? Should we just...
If orc society is built on might makes right, then the war boss is the living proof of that law, because he's the one who proved he was the toughest by caving in the skulls of anyone who said otherwise. A war boss isn't just strong, he's commanding. Other orcs follow him not out of loyalty, but because he's simply too terrifying to disobey. He yells the loudest, fights the hardest, and is always looking for the next scrap, which means his boys are never bored. And when a war boss gets going, he doesn't just start a battle, he starts a Wa. Was are the orc equivalent of a full-scale invasion, except with less strategy and way more momentum. They start as a simple warband, then snowball into something bigger as more orcs are drawn to the fight, driven by sheer instinct and the psychic energy that builds up whenever enough of them gather in one place. Given enough time, a Waaagh can grow into a galaxy-shaking tide of destruction, and it all happens because one particularly massive warboss pointed in a direction and said, "Oi, that way." And while all warbosses are massive, brutal, and utterly single-minded in their thirst for conquest, a great warboss is something even deadlier. The best of them, like the infamous Ghazghkull Thraka, aren't just bigger than the rest, they're actually clever. They understand in their own brutal way how to keep a Waaagh going for years.
This is the longest 2 minutes of my life. Please hurry up with this, please.
Even decades.
Please
and
hurry
when
up
one
with
of
this.
these legendary warbosses
Please hurry
rises,
up with this.
the galaxy takes notice.
I have nothing. I have
warboss
nothing to
rules-
say about this bum right here. I have nothing to say. I have nothing to say about nothing. Hurry up.
However, orcs aren't loyal in the traditional sense. The second a warboss starts losing, his own knobs start eyeing the throne. And when the challenges come, there's only ever
What?
his own knobs start eyeing the throne.
Oh, really? Interesting. Oh, wow.
And when the challenges come, there's only ever one winner. The Waaagh stops for no orc. If a warboss gets knocked off his perch, then the one who did the knocking becomes the next warboss. Because in the end, orcs only follow one rule. The biggest orc is the boss, until a bigger one comes along. The green tide is a wild thing to try and cover in one discussion, and we must have touched on half a dozen other subjects that really require more looking into. The orcs are such an integral part of the 40k story that it's impossible to think of the grim darkness of the far future without them. But what do you all think? Did our breakdown...
I think they're trash. I think they're ugly. I think they're absolutely overpowered. I think that Games Workshop glazed them for no reason. Like, what else? Like, there's so many things I can say. Like, they're so, like, lame and just diabolical. Like, I don't know. Comment down below, man. What do y'all think about the orcs? I know what you guys think. Y'all love them. Y'all glaze them so much. Y'all think that, like, these guys are, like, you know, better than Vulcan, when in reality, bro, Vulcan is legit, like, way better than these guys. But, you know, I digress. Other than that, comment down below. What do you guys think about this? I'm going to see y'all later fixing them out. That last half of the video about these war bosses and stuff like that, oh my goodness, yo, just be lucky. I'm a changed man, bro. Because if I was the same dude from last year, I would have been violated. You know what? I ain't gonna say nothing else, man. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Bye, everyone. On the road to 10,000 subscribers. Subscribe.